You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live This Week, featuring news and commentary on This Week in Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live This Week, Derrial Christon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Friday, and you're watching Black Hollywood Live This Week. I am your host, Derrial Christon. Here joining me today is the lady in pink, Courtney Stewart.
What's up, everybody?
And the dancing DJ over there, DJ Jessie J. On today's show, we have a variety of different topics, including Marvel Comics reveals a potential black Captain America. What? Andre 3000 is Jimi Hendrix, and the first trailer look is revealed. NeNe leaks slams Wendy Williams, and a continued discussion about the NYPD chokehold controversy we will discuss. But first, I want to talk about last week's Buzzmeter question, which was, do you think 6 Californias is a good idea? You guys voted. 76% of you said no, and 24% of you said yes. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I'm actually surprised at how big the difference is.
Yeah.
Me too. That's a huge range. I mean,
6 is a lot of splitting. We talked about that earlier. It might have been nice 2 or 3, but 6 seemed like a lot.
I'm into 3 states.
I'm into 3.
I'm into 3. I think it gets a little cloudy with 6. But I also said that now if 6 will make our tax brackets go down, I'm all about that.
My issue is that the man that created this is from Silicon Valley, and he wants Silicon Valley to be his own little
because
that could
Silicon
be
Valley
it.
is the richest little area in the country.
You're right. All right.
Right next to one of the poorest. Isn't East Palo Alto
East Palo Alto,
the cheap,
yeah.
like the poorest? Yeah, something
It's
like
one
that.
of them or
It's one of
something
them.
like that, or high in poverty. Okay, so this week's Buzzmeter question is, do you think Lauryn Hill was right to kick her audience member out? We will discuss that a
talk
little bit
about
later,
that later.
but you guys vote and we'll read those results next week. But we're going to start off with some trending topics with DJ Jessie J.
So Marvel, everyone's been paying attention, and there's been some controversy going around about a female Thor and a black Captain America. Dum, dum, dum. Well, first of all, these aren't even going to be happening for years from now, so calm down. But Marvel, there is talks about putting Captain America to rest. The character Captain America, he's getting old and up there, and it's time for a new character to come in. The character's name will be Sam Wilson. He also goes by Falcon. And he will be the reborn Captain America.
Yeah.
Now he wasn't.
What they gonna do with the old one? Does he just die?
Well, he's older, and they kind of like in the story. Basically, he goes on to say that he has a lot of fun writing the new character Sam, and there comes a time when Steve Rogers, he's gotten old, and he's got to pass the.
He's gonna pass his shield.
His shield.
Okay.
I mean, I love that they are bringing Falcon into the comics, but now I think it's funny that they're going to kill off Captain America because he's old, technically, because how many times have they revamped Spider-Man and Batman? And but I'm happy because Falcon is the African-American character, obviously.
Well, so. Spider-Man, there is rumors of that there will eventually be a mixed Spider-Man because a comic has been created for the mixed Spider-Man, so I can see that happening.
Mixed Spider-Man. What's a mixed Spider-Man?
I think he's Hispanic, black.
He's Hispanic and black, and I think white.
Yeah.
All right. Alexis from the booth giving us those statistics, comic book statistics.
Yes.
And Alexis, you're a big fan of the Marvel.
I'm a fan of both, actually.
Marvel, DC.
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of DC just because I like their stories better. Marvel seems like they just kind of pull superheroes out of their hats, pretty much.
And you said that this was an interesting topic because of what was going on with the Fantastic Four reboot.
Yes.
Speak on that.
Yes, because the fact that they were going to make Mr. Fantastic black, and then they decided not to, and then they made the Human Torch, which I know you guys have brought up on the show before about that. And I didn't like the fact they made the black guy the hothead. I don't know. That was just my own opinion.
Right.
And the bad thing is, it also doesn't make sense because the Human Torch and the Invisible Woman, they're supposed to be brother and sister.
Right,
But
yeah.
the Invisible Woman's white and the brother's black, so I don't really know how they're gonna make that a story because they're supposed to be blood related, hence why they have the powers. So.
Yeah, but hence, I mean, let's be honest. They made Jessica Alba the sister, and she is Latina. I mean, she's biracial, but she could pull it off. But technically,
exactly.
She's Latina.
I think it's interesting. They chose Mr. Fantastic to not be the lead character.
I think it would have been better if they did it that way.
I agree.
My personal opinion, not because he's black, just because it would be different.
It would just make sense.
Right.
But you guys know that internationally they can't have a lead role in a movie, like they won't show it if the person is a minority.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, they can't.
Why?
Like Tyler, I don't know. They just know Tyler Perry's do not do well internationally because the fact that all the cast is black. It has to be a white lead.
That was sort of the argument with the whole 12 Years a Slave controversy with those posters.
Oh,
was
yeah, with the
that
Brad
the
Pitt.
movie doesn't sell if they think it's a black lead.
Yep.
So, racism everywhere, y'all.
So this will be
Everywhere.
interesting. Obviously, they said this won't be released for years to come, but I think it was like 2019
Yeah,
or
it's
something
like
that.
4 years or something from now.
So hopefully by then we'll be ready for a lead
Evolved again.
Marvel
hopefully.
character.
Yeah.
Right. Moving on from that, Elizabeth Taylor, right? She's been the face of White Diamonds for, I want to say, 20 years.
I think it's like 30, 40.
Oh, yep, 20. It's been one of the top-selling fragrances on the market. In 2010, she made $61.3 billion globally.
Wow.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of
Like
money.
what?
But and most of it aren't most of the proceeds going to still her AIDS
I think her
research?
AIDS
Yeah,
research.
I don't remember what. I think it's like 50%. It's a pretty.
It's 50%. 50% go to her AIDS foundation. So basically, they want to revamp White Diamonds, and to do this, they have called upon Nia Long and Regina Hall to be the new faces. From what I've seen, it looks like Nia Hall mix
That's their new
the
names.
two together. Nia Long is going to be the upfront face for it, where Regina Hall will do appearances and whatnot. But it comes off for this new product that they're trying to sell. It's called White Diamonds Luster Elizabeth Taylor. It adds that extra sparkle. I don't know what that means to women, but do you look for?
I don't really do perfume. I don't really like it, but I do know White
No
Diamonds.
perfumes, like
no,
nothing.
not
Okay.
really. I mean, I own like 2, but I don't really ever use them. If I want something, I use like a body splash. Not that y'all need to know all that, but I don't really go for perfume.
Actually, I did ask,
And
so I did
essential
want to know.
oils are more like I just don't like perfumes for the most part. I have allergies and stuff. It's kind of weird. But anyway, White Diamonds as a fragrance is a fairly nice fragrance, even though it seems like something like. Because you remember the black and white commercial.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
I mean,
Taylor. It seems
real
very
90s.
old and aged and that kind of thing, but it's still a nice fragrance. So it's an interesting choice. I think that they've gone with Nia Long, and I think it's a good choice because I like the idea that they use her as a timeless beauty, which is what Elizabeth Taylor was supposed to be.
yeah.
So
They went on to say, our best tribute to Elizabeth Taylor will be to continue the legacy of the brands she created and loved so much. Branding is everything these days, but to attach yourself to something that really has a legacy behind it is important. That's actually what Nia Long had to come say of it. Interesting conversation that's come out of it is why Nia Long over maybe Lupita or some of the newer actresses coming out.
Right.
And I think me and Courtney kind of came to a understanding of, this Nia Long has been a staple
She's been in the game for a long time.
in Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
When you think of
And she's stunning.
who's a fine girl, who's someone who's just beautiful, gorgeous, you think Nia Long. She's
Yeah.
the epitome of that.
Yeah.
And she keeps it classy. It's not like a Stacey Dash.
Well, I love that they use Nia versus the go-to is always, I feel like the Halle Berrys,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like the go-to girl. But Nia, I feel like she embraces this as well. She, like you said, she's a classic beauty and she doesn't look like she ages at all and she's stunning. So
and I think
I
if
like the
they-
reboot.
Yeah, and I think that what we also talked about earlier is that I think they really did their research because if they're really targeting, because we were talking about would you actually buy a fragrance from a celebrity or what have you? I think Nia Long, along with being this beautiful woman that's always been beautiful, she's always been very relatable to
Absolutely.
every black girl growing up, and hopefully that branches over race also. But specifically to black women, she has been that relatable but also beautiful woman for years. And so if that's their target, they want to get those black female customers pulling down that's a perfect choice.
Oh my God,
Because it was totally unexpected.
Yeah, I couldn't. Every person I've like told about this is like happy, shocked, like amazed. Like this is amazing for
Yeah.
me.
Because as far as I'm aware, she's never had a beauty campaign from
Yeah, no.
perfume or cosmetics or anything. I'm not aware of one.
And I would love for her to redo that photo. She would look epic in that picture.
Yes.
All right, and so shout out to Nia Long too. She has her new TV show, which premiered last Wednesday, The Divide. So
On
make sure you guys.
NYPD.
check
And they
that
just announced that they are doing a Best Man 3.
3.
And what year is that coming out?
Next year.
Yeah,
2015.
2015.
I thought it was 15 or
I thought it was the end of
16.
2015.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Right now.
Yeah.
Boop. All right. On
Doing
that
it up,
note,
girl.
well, September 26th of this year, y'all can check out the new film featuring Andre 3000. It's the Jimi Hendrix trailer, which we have a clip of that we want to promote to you guys, and go support the movie.
We have a guest who's going to stay with us. He brought himself all the way over from America. What's the name again, mate?
Jimi Hendrix. The gig doesn't pay that much. I mean, we're broke, but we're cool. Might as well hang out with us and be broke. And cool.
It's Jimi.
Yeah, I like it that way.
Well, it's my pleasure to come up with the idea. Your success will be thanks enough.
You can't leave it to other people to sort out your life.
You'll never be nothing to them but a curiosity.
Well, it's cold, man. You really want to change things? When the power of love takes over the love of power, that's when things will change.
The minute things take off for you, I wonder if you're going to notice that I'm not around anymore.
Things you love, they stay with you. If you want them to or not.
There you guys have it, the new Jimi Hendrix
Alrighty.
documentary. I'm excited just to see the inner workings of his life. And
I mean, honestly, this is
short
one of the
amount of
ones
time.
I've been really looking forward to. I mean, we've had several different movies where we have the James Brown story that's about to be released right now.
Next week, yeah.
Next week, which I'm interested to see that. But this one, I'm hyped for because to me, Andre embraces so much of like Prince and Jimmy and the only thing that I'm disappointed about, which I did hear, and hopefully I don't know how true it is or not, is that none of Jimmy's original music is going to be in the film. It's going to be all just like
Yeah, they didn't apparently get the rights.
they didn't get the
to
rights for
They
it,
weren't
and
able
that
to
to
get the
me
rights.
sucks because I feel like to really embrace Jimmy, you need to hear
The
his music,
yeah.
But hopefully they've gone around that and figured out the best way to communicate his sound. But I'm hype about this movie. I mean, I think Andre 3000 is a perfect person.
that's
for
why
it.
I'm excited, really, about it. I'm excited to really see him, because he's such a serious artist when it comes to his own
Absolutely,
stuff.
yeah.
So, I know that this was an idol for him, so to see what he's going to put into this.
Yeah,
I'll go
I'm
see
hyped.
it.
I'll be there.
September 26th. Make sure y'all check that out.
I'll see it.
Also, make sure you guys check us out over at AfterBuzz TV, your favorite TV shows. As soon as you're done watching them, check us out at AfterBuzzTV.com. We'll be talking about them with your favorite celebrities and showrunners.
All right. Thank you, Jesse, for those trending topics. We're going to move on to
Your
some
voice
gossip
changed.
and rumors. His voice did
That
change.
was my commercial voice.
Yeah, that was a real commercial voice right there. All right, we're going to move on to gossip and rumors with Courtney.
All right, so this week in
I
gossip
said
and
gospel
rumors,
and rumors. I was like, did we change something?
We're going to go to gospel
It's the
and rumors.
gospel, according to Wendy Williams.
Okay.
According to Wendy Williams this week, well, she and NeNe are not so cool. NeNe leaks, Real Housewives of Atlanta got on Twitter and went in on Wendy. Basically, the situation was that Wendy was talking about NeNe sort of on her show. Wendy brought up the idea. Basically, NeNe had a Birkin bag, custom designed.
This is is this
That's
the
the
custom
design with all of her like sayings, like "boop" and "close your legs to married men,"
Girl,
and,
bye.
and it's supposed to be auctioned off for charity. But Wendy had a little dig at her and basically said that she basically ruined an expensive item, and it didn't sit so well with NeNe. And NeNe came back over social media on her blog and made the following statement to Wendy. When it comes to gossip, you are the lowest of the low. I know you hate because I turned down the chance to come to your talk show, and I'm sure you're scared I will take your place. Parentheses, I know you've heard, wink, wink. Be scared. Exclamation point. My Birkin is being turned into a work of art to raise money for a worthy charity, something you failed to mention on your show. I don't have one Birkin, I have 5. Now run tell that, wig.
I mean, how old is NeNe? I mean, here's my thing.
I mean,
you
by the
must
looks of this
care
Birkin
what she's
bag,
saying.
not very old.
Right. She must care what she's saying because otherwise, why make a comment?
Why do you care?
Who cares?
Exactly.
You're
She was
always going to be
obviously,
talking.
joking, like,
Yeah.
it's a Birkin bag. And no offense, NeNe, it does look a little ridiculous for a Birkin bag.
Like, that's
but
not cute. If
no.
I wouldn't want to buy that. I wouldn't want, you know what I mean? I would rather been like, okay, you know, maybe write one of those things. Write bloop on it or something like.
But
it does look a little bootleg.
It does, but it's being auctioned for charity, and that's all well and great. And Wendy didn't necessarily make that the point of the conversation. Wendy was commenting on the fact that the bag looks crazy.
Horrible. And it looks like a strap is actually broke to the left. But
Yeah, no, it just looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, it
That
looks
one's
weird.
And obviously, Birkin is like synonymous with it's one of the most expensive bags you can get, so it's a big deal. And NeNe is trying to stay relevant.
I mean, at the end, that's all this story is.
Yeah, and let me ask you a question. Do you think that NeNe could run her own talk show and have it survive like Wendy's did?
No.
I don't
NeNe-
think she did.
NeNe-
I don't think she's as relatable.
NeNe can't even make.
Where's she getting shot? What's happening? I thought we was getting shot up in the studio.
Listen, I would be under
NeNe can't even keep Real Housewives of Atlanta, her character on Real Housewives of Atlanta, likable at this point.
Yeah.
You know, we love her because of the past seasons, but today it's like me personally, I feel like I'm struggling to like the character that NeNe has become
Yeah.
on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So to see that kind of transfer over to TV, it's kind of like she's a little too cocky. It's like, first of all, this is Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
So weren't y'all friends?
Right.
I'm sure Wendy Williams is not mad that you're not coming on her show.
And you've been on her show like
Several-
at least twice
too many
before,
times.
so it's not that serious.
She got her tea.
Like,
And she can just continue to talk about her without her coming on the show. So
Right.
and it'll be just fine.
and it's one of those things like I get like being annoyed as a celebrity that
Sure.
you're being talked about, but it sort of goes with the territory, and that's like the point of the show. It's not like Wendy as a person is purposely going out with a bullhorn like everybody hate NeNe
Right.
and her stupid Birkin
Right.
bag. Like, it's a show. The
She
same
has to
way
talk about you.
that NeNe acts a fool on her show to keep it interesting and like changes up her character, doesn't necessarily do what she would do in normal life because she's doing a show. That's what Wendy is doing. So if anything, there should just be mutual respect and get over yourself. Like, it's not that serious. She
All
didn't say
these-
nothing about your kids.
Reality stars getting mad at Wendy, trying to come for Wendy.
Well, that's just the history of Wendy. I mean, I remember back in the day
People
when
have
she
always
said
come for
Diddy
Wendy.
came for her, Whitney Houston came
But
for
that's
her.
because Wendy keeps it 100.
She keeps it 100. That's why I love her, you know. And
that's
she's
why
still
she has her
approachable.
own show that's not canceled.
Right.
Wink, wink. Tell that wig.
As far as I know, it's renewed to 2016.
Right, and last time I checked, Wendy Williams' wigs were cute.
And you struggled last season. But we're going to move on to the next story.
I know.
On that note,
I just got so mad at NeNe all of a sudden. Like, I
Right.
love Wendy
I
Williams.
felt
my
the energy
favorite.
over there. I felt on that side of the room. It was some anger.
Like, don't come for Mother Wendy.
We used to love you, NeNe. And
Wendy
you
has
kind
helped
of-
me lose weight.
Oh, right.
She's my gym partner.
Gym partner treadmill. That's right. All right. Well, speaking of losing weight, some people apparently need to be in the N.W.A. biopic. So there was a casting call sent out for the new N.W.A. biopic
too
that
white.
some people found quite offensive and some people also thought was racist. I'm going to read you the breakdown. For those of you that don't understand what a breakdown is, basically a casting agency looking for a character or characters for a film will send out a description of what they are looking for the actors. The agents and actors look at it and say, "Oh, I fit this," and then you submit yourself and you go in. So here was the breakdown that Sandy Alessi Casting sent. A, quote, hottest of the hottest models, open to women of any race. B, fine. Beyonce is the prototype here. Light-skinned women. C, African-American girls. Medium to light-skinned with a weave. D,
Oh, okay.
these are African-American girls, poor, not in good shape, medium to dark skin tone.
D.
Wow.
I love that B was for Beyonce's,
Right.
but C was for African Americans because
Right.
Beyonce is not.
African American. Right. That was going to be my first point in that whole
They
thing.
should have just used this as a color guard for the Destiny's Child. Be like, look, B, we looking for Beyonce's.
Right.
And then
C, we looking for Kelly. And D, if you look like Michelle or someone has told you you're going to be Michelle in the group, then come on down. Y'all done made it. But I'm just like, who's A?
well,
Like, who beats Beyonce?
hottest of the hottest. Women of any race.
I mean,
I'm guessing pretty much.
So
white
what did
girls.
Universal say now? 'Cause
Universal has separated themselves and said that they did not approve that this was coming out.
So
And
this was
Sandy
this is
Alessi-
legit
This was a legit
casting for the
that
movie.
they did pull eventually. They said that the ad was an innocent mistake, and when it comes to casting the quote-unquote poor people, they're also looking for women of various skin tones and body types. They just maybe forgot to put that in the breakdown.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So, okay, here's what I'm gonna say.
The first thing, D, these are African American girls. Poor, not in good shape, medium to dark skin tone.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lawsuit.
Well, it's not a lawsuit.
Go, she gonna break it down acting wise. Go ahead, I know.
No, but like, okay, let's be real. If you are have any information about the casting world and what is sent out, they specify skinny, light, or they'll send a picture of like a prototype of what they kind of want the girl to look like. And you too fat, too this, too that. Like, that's the whole point of casting. Like, you're trying to find a specific type of person that looks, and you're just describing external features that you think suit what the people are looking for. So on that one hand, I understand. What I do think, I don't know who actually worked at Sandy Alessi and put this together and sent it out, but I would venture to say, I understand why people are upset, but I will not say that it's racist. I will say that somebody was really insensitive who did not recognize. I think it would have been less of an issue if they actually, if they changed it. Numbers might have still been a problem, but I think even if the order was switched, because there's something about the girls on top and then the ones on the bottom that made it a value judgment.
It was a complete separation. Yeah.
It just made it a value judgment immediately. You're like, damn, the D girls at the bottom. But really, in any casting where because they're probably looking for a large group of girls.
Sure.
So the categories are often A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. So maybe they really did innocently not realize, but it's sad that you don't have enough information in your casting world because you are, especially if you're the ones dealing with an N.W.A. biopic or anything of color, like that you don't read that and be like, ooh, that might look kind of bad.
Yeah.
So I do think when they said it was, an innocent mistake, there may be some validity to that. Everybody ain't that bright, y'all.
You know what?
Just the way that this is written out doesn't seem like it was written by somebody who was
super bright.
It looked like someone who was at the club.
You're right. You're right. In casting, obviously, there's categories for everything, and that has to be pronounced, and I get that, and that's fine. I think the part that bothered me the most is the part about the black girl with you have to have a weave. Why do you have to?
That was a little confusing.
To me, D is just these are African, and then so don't come out here and say, no, it could be any. No, you clearly wrote these are African American girls, poor. And did you make that in caps?
No, I just couldn't.
And poor is in bold. It's the only word that's actually in bold out of all of them.
And the reality is, I didn't actually. I was cutting pasting this from the article. So who knows in transition, because I didn't actually see the breakdown myself.
Right.
I have access to some of the breakdowns, but I didn't see this breakdown.
I did see the breakdown. Honestly, there was more description.
I'm sure there was more.
Yeah, I was going to say, the breakdown I saw had a lot more description.
But it also made me think, too. Think of it in the context of the film and what time of year it was and what was happening sort of in rap. Like, light-skinned girls were in. They were considered this. Like, so to me, with that perspective, like, to jump on them and be like, oh my God, who are these people? Like, I think that somebody did something very insensitive and stupid and probably should have thought it out a little bit. Or their boss should have been like, ooh, girl, no, we can't do it
Someone
that
should
way.
have read that before the full description went out.
You know how all this really got caught, though? Some girl thought she was going to go for group.
She thought she was Beyonce. She thought she was A, but she really was D.
She was above Beyonce. She was like, oh, hell yes, I'm an A. And she came up in there and they had to resend it and be like, actually,
you're a D.
You are poor looking and you're fat. Because we can't say fat.
You know where this really came from? It was actually the Bagency. They were like, oh, wait, hold up. They put Beyonce in Group B.
What?
Right.
Oh, hell no. We getting this movie shut down.
A mess. Well, anyway, I'll be interested to see who ends up cast.
Me too.
Right.
And what it was all for.
Right.
So
I'm going to be like, that's a D.
I can't be in your movie now because y'all are calling me a C.
Because
I'm
I kind
African.
of.
Oh, maybe I'm not. Would I be a C? Oh. Medium?
Wait, read the C description again.
African American girls. I got that.
You got that?
Medium. I'm not light skinned. I'm medium.
You can be medium.
I got a wig. Does that count? Okay, anyway, moving on. We'll talk
It
about
should say weave or wig.
weave or wig.
Optional.
Not in good shape, medium to dark skin. I could also be a D.
Where would I
look
be on that
poor?
list? Does anybody know?
You would be fine, girl, because you light skinned it and you got that long hair.
You got that long hair.
You got
That long straight hair. You got that
long
good hair.
So you automatically can't be in C.
Right.
You can't
So
be-
that leaves you from
C.
B or A.
Right.
only.
You can't be in
'cause
C or D.
You could be that in between, so
Right.
you can
Ooh.
pass for other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So you B. All right, speaking of B's, Lauryn Hill, okay. Lauryn Hill had a show this week, y'all. She didn't show up on time. She came home mad, and then she kicked somebody out.
And we have a video of it.
Let's play it.
Have you seen the video?
I saw it. I love it.
When I get up on this stage, don't be disrespectful. Go ahead, you can go. You can go. You can go. No, seriously, you can go. Please refund them back their money. If a little patience is too much, it's all right. You can go. I would prefer that. You're not gonna mess up my vibe to the rest of these people. You're not gonna do that. So if you want to put up, you can get up, and you can get your money refunded, and you can go. I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. Excuse me. There's a gentleman over there who just did something I don't like. Can you please escort him out and refund his money?
There you have it. Somebody called her out for being late. She didn't like it and said, "Y'all ain't gonna mess up my vibe. Can you please escort them out and give them their money back?" By the way, she was supposed to go on at 10:30 and she showed up at 11:20.
And mind you, this has been happening for like the past
She's
6,
been
7
consistent
That's
with
been
this.
happening for the past 12 years.
Yeah. I just want the old Lauryn Hill back. That's all.
I mean,
want.
that's not going to happen.
It's
My
not gonna
thing
happen.
is that the fact that she didn't continue the show until the man was removed. If I was the man, I would be a little upset if I was him.
Well, legally,
Now-
can you even really do that? I mean, he paid his ticket.
Security can escort him out and they can give him his money back.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he paid for the ticket. I mean, he didn't like.
They gave him his money
But
back.
he didn't like physically threaten her or anything.
Well,
He-
she could say she feels threatened. That's a private venue. They can do what they want.
And then he can do whatever he wants
Afterwards, he can try
to
to
go
sue
against
and-
her or
yeah,
do whatever. But I mean, my thing is this, and we kind of were saying it before. It's, she is a difficult person to kind of talk about because she released one album and
That we're all still obsessed with.
yeah, right. And it's so amazing. But when it comes to being a celebrity, I feel like once you've signed for that, once you've passed a certain point, because there's a certain level of stardom, I feel, that you can still be able to do regular people shit and still be able to, be in the, big time movies and still be able to do that. But once you hit this, it gets to a point where you're a bird in a cage. And if people are paying to come see you and people are supporting your lifestyle so you don't go back in jail.
Right.
Because you didn't
your
handle
taxes.
your shit.
Right.
It gets to a point where it's like, yeah, you got to shut up and you got to sing and you got to be on time because it is work and you don't have to. You're right. You're fine with that. You're fine with that guy. You're fine with him getting his money back. You shouldn't be because
That's money
the
you
government
probably-
isn't fine with you not paying them.
Right.
So you need all the coin you can get, girl. So.
But unfortunately, the egos start to kind of trickle in and become big, and
I don't think it's ego with her. I think she's just so fed up with the industry that she just doesn't give a shit.
I think it's a combination. I think she has an
It's
ego
both.
too, though.
Really?
I think she got a big ego
because
still.
you have to be a bit narcissistic to
Absolutely.
know that these people that are supporting you even through your nonsense, and yet you still don't owe them any sort of respect to just show up on time. Like, just show up on time.
When did this start happening, Jesse?
She been a mess, but
Yeah, I mean,
It's been years.
Yeah, because I went to a concert in college for one of her concerts, and she was totally fine. She was on time. She sang. She said goodbye, signed some autographs, and left.
It's sporadic, girl.
Yeah, sporadic.
It's
yeah.
sporadic.
I was like, this makes me really sad.
That experience, you got one of the rare ones.
Yeah.
Because at least for the last like 5 or 6 years, everybody that I know that's trying to see her live,
They've been
do
nervous
anything,
about
it's
it,
been a
yeah.
problem.
And
Yeah.
didn't like her voice. How did she sound
sounded
when you
awful.
saw her?
Maybe maybe it was. I don't know.
She said, "Ugh."
Yeah. Your first reaction was, "Ugh." That's a sign.
If it was good, she would have been like, "Oh my God, it was great."
It was amazing, right?
She was
Yeah.
like,
She's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, it's kind of mixed feelings for me.
That's what the other fans at this concert actually said. Also, she finally got the guy to leave, and then she sang "Lost Ones" first, and it was awful. And there was actually, and everything that she followed, did 2 more songs or something, and it was just bad. And there was a line of people trying to get their money back at the end of the show because it was just a bad show.
They were all probably jealous that man got his money back.
Right.
But I don't know who pays to go see a Lauryn Hill concert and not expect nonsense.
I mean, I think we all are a champion for her. We all want her to deliver what we know that she used to be able to deliver. But we never are we ever going to get that again?
On.
I just have to put the album in rotation.
And give up.
Let Lauryn sing to her 3P
maybe
fans.
Maybe Zion
in the
will bring the legacy back.
Maybe.
Because he grown now.
He grown. I was like, Zion's probably a man now.
He's a man. He's 17 years old. He's cute too, y'all. Probably nasty like Rohan, but Moving on.
Moving on. If you want to learn more about our other Lauryn Hill conversations that we've had here on Black Hollywood Live, you should tune in to iTunes. Go to Black Hollywood Live. Look up This Week because we've had several conversations about Lauryn Hill over the last couple of months. As well as you can check out our other shows such as Fashion 401, The Beat, Portraits, all the way down to the Black Sports Weekly. So we have a variety of different things that you can watch and different programming that you can enjoy. Make sure to give us a rating and comment. Let us know what you like and do not like so we can continue to build you great programming. All right, now we're going to move on to our final subjects. Our first subject up is going to be our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
And it is all about diversity. All right, as we have talked about on the show as well, ABC has made really great strides with Shonda Rhimes and programming that she's done. She won a Directors Guild Award for her diversity for ABC. Well, not so many other networks are getting the same type of great compliments, I'll say. CBS right now is under fire because of their new fall lineup. Apparently, people have been complaining that their fall lineup has a lack of diversity in it and is mostly led by all-white cast. Now, Nina Tassler, who is the CBS chairwoman, said this when asked from critics why the lineup was so non-diverse. She said, when we talk about diversity, we talk about the entire breadth of the network, not just one genre. She pointed out their new sci-fi thriller, Extent, which has top ratings right now with its premiere, which Halle Berry is starring on it, has a female African-American lead, meaning Halle Berry. She also commented that Lucy Liu co-stars on Elementary, which she is obviously an Asian woman. And then she said The Talk is one of the most diverse cast in daytime, which I'll give her that. That's very true. Now, critics said that's great and all, but if you take those leads, the majority of the cast are still white. So where's the rest of the diversity? It's also interesting, too, because CBS just announced that they're bringing Shamar Moore back for Young and the Restless for 2 episodes, I believe. Now we all know that he played Malcolm.
And this talks about it being a bigger
role for him.
Just those 2.
Well, there's talks about that, and then there's also been conversations about how diverse Young and the Restless is, but someone who used to be on the show does not feel that way, which is Victoria Rao. She also took time to go to Twitter to comment about CBS's diversity or the lack thereof. This is what Victoria tweeted. She played Drusilla Barber on Young and the Restless for many years, and this is what she said. Soon after news broke that Shamar Moore would be returning to YNR for a 2-day guest appearance, she said, Shamar is fab. No coincidence that the conversation I am concerned with is that the lack of African-American executive producers on YNR for 41 years. So
she's talking about behind the scenes.
She also said that, she said, hopefully Shamar inked a deal that would pay him what other white actors on the show were paid, which she said which was around $1 million.
She ain't playing.
She ain't playing. She ain't playing. So what do you guys think about the lack of diversity from CBS?
I think that it's going to bite them in the ass. I think with ABC and, Shonda Rhimes getting her Thursday night, I think in just seeing, every week we're talking about new projects that are coming out. We're heading in that direction. So if you're going to be the last one in that boat, you're going to become kind of a niche. You're going to become kind of tainted, and I don't know.
I think it's, okay, this might be an unpopular opinion, but just a perspective. From a business perspective, Don't get me wrong. Let me say up front, people, I don't approve of whitewashing everything. It would be nice if it didn't exist. But CBS's strongholds are these little sitcoms.
Right.
They aren't as powerful, I guess, against the drama as well. That's
Mike
not
and Molly.
entirely true because
Well,
they still
no, they
have
have
like NCIS and that kind of thing. But they have a stronghold in comedy, and if that comedy is reaching the demographic that they've chosen to run their business on and make money out of, in a world where we have so many networks and so much cable and stuff available to us, at what point is it just acceptable that they're choosing the business model that is financially working for them because there's other options for us out there? It's not like the days when there were only 5 networks and we only saw, and that's not me advocating, like I obviously think that it would be great if we had diversity on every channel, on every show, like what real life looks like. But real life don't look like that for a lot of people in this country. Like, we live in major metropolitan areas where we have friends of multiple colors and multiple places from whatever. But there's a whole lot of the country that just see each other every day. And every day, it ain't this.
You're right about that.
So if that's who they're focusing on and trying to get, at some point do we say, all right, I guess I'm watching Shonda Rhimes because I don't watch CBS. I actually started watching Extant, which is interesting. But it actually was better than I expected.
It was better than I expected too.
Third episode, I'm kind of like, I think I might be falling off. But it's only because of Hallie. Exactly.
Yeah. Really?
I don't think, no, I don't like it because of Hallie. I'm falling off because of Hallie. But that's another conversation for another time. But anyway, so point being, like, I don't know, like how, if we just, at some point, like, we go and put our money in the places where we're receiving what we're getting because we have that option now, whereas we didn't have that before.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen, and I think it just will come, I think it will lead us in, that's kind of actually really scary, but thinking about that, if that is to happen, which actually seems like it probably will be the way of the world, seems like we're going to have to hit at least one really big landmark with racism in the media.
Yeah. Well,
because everybody doesn't do everything well. Like, everybody doesn't, they don't have a Shonda Rhimes right now. Could they go seek one? Possibly. Can they afford it?
It seems like they don't, in the back, they aren't looking
They're not looking for one because their business model is working. They're making money, and that's the point of television, was to sell soap, not to tell the story of our culture.
And so wait, they're saying that the soaps on CBS are very diversified, or Young and the Restless is very diversified?
Young and the Restless is diversified, but there's only like, there's only like 2 soaps on there. It's Bold and the Beautiful, and I think Bold and Beautiful is pretty diverse as well.
I don't remember Cast of Bold and Beautiful.
Bring Passions back.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But I think what it is also is that, you know, we've worked very closely with the CBS team here, and they've been wonderful, and I think that they are making efforts to try and make things a little bit more diverse on their sides.
Maybe because the Wayne Brady,
Wayne Brady. Well, that's Let's Make a Deal. But there are other shows that they have really tried to. Their staff there is really trying to diversify a lot of things there. Now, maybe it just so happened that this particular fall lineup wasn't.
Well, none of their fall lineups have ever, but it's one of those things, like, is everybody going to be at the same spot at the same time? And that's just not the case.
And I think now it's just Shonda Rhimes has set that tone.
She set a bar really high.
She set the bar high, so everyone else has to fall into that. And you're right. You know, they'll see the results because if people start watching the shows because they aren't diverse and they're going to WE and A&E and MTV or wherever else, all these other, because there's so many other options that people can tune into now, then they'll figure that out, you know. But I do feel like CBS has made an effort to try and diversify some of their things. Now,
Arsenio, that was CBS too, right?
No, Arsenio was CW, CW.
Yeah, it was on CW.
CW.
If they just put me on NCIS New Orleans, we'd solve the problem.
There you go.
Exactly. There you go. So put Courtney on
Courtney
on that, and all your CBS problems for diversity will
Criminal Minds
will be gone.
You know.
And if you want to hear more about that story, be sure to check out euroweb.com, and you can find out more information about the diversity in Hollywood. All right, our next story is about NYPD. They continue to face some troubles. Most recently for the death of 43-year-old Eric Garner, who was African-American father who suffered from asthma, who was outside of a Staten Island beauty salon, and he was approached by cops because he allegedly was selling illegal cigarettes. We have a quick clip of what happened, but basically he ended up dying on his way to the hospital. But here's a quick clip.
Hold on. Don't touch me. Came over. Don't touch me. Put your hand behind your back. I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
Hard to watch. Honestly, that's hard to watch. Eric Garner, he was put in a chokehold by an officer.
I don't care if he was selling weed. Like what?
Well, he was put in chokehold by Officer Daniel Pantaleo, an 8-year veteran. And as you can see from that video, Eric was expressing how he couldn't breathe while he was in that chokehold. Now, apparently, chokeholds have been banned from police usage for many years, but this particular time it was still used, and unfortunately we lost Mr. Garner. Now the officers are under investigation. This is being looked at all over the world right now. Al Sharpton has gotten involved. He's going to be meeting with Garner's family about filing a civil lawsuit against the department. This is what Sharpton said. He said, "Let's not play games with this one. You don't need no training to stop choking a man saying, 'I can't breathe.' You don't need no cultural orientation to stop choking a man saying, 'I can't breathe.' You need to be prosecuted."
Yep.
And you know what? I got to agree with him. I mean, it was blatant to me. It's hard for me to watch that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was tough because you can hear him not being able to breathe anymore. And you know, when is this police brutality going to stop? I mean, obviously I know we have criminals that we need to take care of and make sure that the world is safe, but this is
why were there 7 men?
That was going to be my next question. That was going to be my absolute next question.
I could now if he was being violent on the street or something like that, I get that. I mean, but this is something that, and honestly, I've experienced that several times in my life, not with the chokehold or anything like that, but to have these cops, it's like 6, 7, 8 of them for like the most minuscule thing, and they're worried about that, and then all of a sudden you have 6 men here, and you have this one guy holding this man in a headlock, and you can just see how tight that guy has him in a headlock. Yeah. Why are you putting all your energy and focus in that when you could be putting it in his hands and pulling them back if that's what your biggest concern was?
Yeah. And what if this wasn't videotaped? You know?
Right.
There's so many of them that aren't videotaped, you know, but
death sentence.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding.
So many people have gone to the defense of Al Sharpton and also Eric Garner. Spike Lee posted a picture of remember Radio Raheem and the situation Do the Right Thing, where he was also attacked, choked by police. And Spike Lee put up a picture comparing the two, and with the caption, he posted a mixed mashup of Radio Raheem with Eric, and he said, "Brother Garner no longer breathes courtesy of banned NYPD chokehold." So, you know, this has just got to stop. So.
And have the police haven't come out and said?
Well,
it's under investigation.
It's under investigation, and they definitely spoke out.
They spoke out about it.
Chokehold was not an acceptable form of anything, and it never has been. And they have to look into their practices and retrain and all that good stuff. And none of it's going to bring the guy back. And it just sucks because one person took the fact that they have some level of power way too far.
Way too far.
It's really. I wonder if the training that needs to happen is figuring out the power complex of cops, because I'm all about, like, I know cops get a bad rap. But for legit reasons sometimes. Yeah. And it's one of those, it's like a double-edged sword, because obviously I want there to be cops and I want cops to be able to do their jobs. And I can't even imagine how difficult it is to be a cop, because along with the crappy part of it to begin with, you also have the mistrust of all of us that think cops are shady anyway.
Right.
So they do have a very difficult job to do, and there has to be some kind of way to, like, psychologically deal with the fact that these power surges that they get on, which is weird though, because it's kind of one of those things like with Marines and people in the military, like, we train them to kill, but we don't untrain them.
Yeah.
And we just throw them out there to be in society. And with cops, we train them to be this aggressive, like, be able to take care of this way and this power, but how do they dial it back in a situation of heightened adrenaline and all of that's going on? So did he mean to kill him? Probably not, but how did he not have that gauge to be like, let go.
And it's not like he had a gun or he was, I mean,
No,
we saw from the video, he wasn't
obviously, he was,
physically
like,
fighting
fine.
them. He had his arms up. He was on the phone, first of all. So.
And I know he's been like, they said he has like criminal history, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but
but
he was selling cigarettes.
Right.
Like, did he need to die over cigarettes?
Yeah,
like,
but I don't care if it was weed, even if it was crack. I really don't care. To be quite honest, the man was just standing on the side of a road selling something. So you approach him and you have a conversation with him and you put him in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's just because a lot of cops don't know how to deal with someone who's that big.
Yeah.
So they just assume that they have to use like brutal force, and it drives me insane. It's like you already had 7 men there. You guys could have just
You could have handcuffed him. You could have
his hands were out
just
already.
handcuff him.
And where did you miss that he's a 400-pound man? If nothing else, if he didn't die from like being choked to death, he could have a heart attack just because 7 of y'all came rolling up on him. But that doesn't seem to get into their brain, and I don't know if it's because of the way we train them to be authoritative and aggressive and crazy, or I don't know, but that's effed up.
Well, examiners have not determined the final cause of death, but police said Eric Garner went into cardiac arrest on the drive to the hospital.
Heart attack. He was
I'm sure.
400 pounds and had 7 men choking him and sitting on him.
All right, well, it'll be interesting to see where that story goes in the future. All right, our last story of the day is about someone who may need to go in a chokehold, I feel like sometimes. Mr. Kanye West, who is gracing the cover of August 2014 GQ. During an interview with the magazine, Mr. Kanye compared himself to celebrities in the 1960s and how celebrity today is very similar to being a person of color in the 1960s, and this is exactly what his quote was. What I talked about was the idea of celebrity and celebrities being treated like blacks, being treated like blacks in the 1960s, having no rights, and the fact that people can slander your name. I said that in the toast. He's referring to his wedding toast. And I had to say this in a position where I am from the art world and Marion Kim, and how we're going to fight the fight to raise the respect level for celebrities so that my daughter can live a normal life. She didn't choose to be a celebrity, but she is. So I'm going to fight to make sure she has a better life. All right, Mr. Kanye West. Let me start with my first problem of comparing celebrity to 1960s. A black person in 1960s. It doesn't really make sense. I'm going to say this. I actually can get where he's going to say when he used the quote of saying that there were no rights and
that
the
was
fact
true
that
for
people slander
blacks
your
in the
name.
60s.
And that is true. So if he's going to compare that part to the 1960s,
what
I
rights
get that.
do celebrities not have?
Well,
Because I think they have more rights than a lot of people.
But
do.
I think he's referring to privacy rights of people always trying to take your picture, take a picture of your baby, trying to take a picture of him and Kim when they're just doing a stroll down the street. But my problem with that is that's what you sign up for as a celebrity. A black person in the 1960s didn't sign up for racism and to have no rights and to be attacked on a day-to-day basis. So that's my problem with that statement, because to me it almost is like when he made this. Didn't he make us?
Poor celebrities.
Yeah, poor celebrities. Wow, wow, wow. When you have a great life and people died in 1960 because of racism, so I don't see the correlation in that sense.
I think the harsh part is that people died, so you're able to do what you can do right now, and you think that your life is so rough that you have to put it on the same playing field as those people that were blown hoses at, had dogs put on them because they wanted to fucking vote. That's
Slapped,
disgusting.
beaten, jailed.
And as far as I'm aware, his parents were fairly big activists in Chicago, and that's insulting. Yeah. Whereas I can respect you feel like you don't have rights to your privacy and you want to protect your daughter, and I'm sure that is challenging, and I do think the paparazzi is out of control in this country. To put those two things on the same playing field is shameful.
Yes. Especially when you're on the cover of a GQ magazine.
Right. Yes,
so
exactly.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we talked about this before. You sign up to be a celebrity. I know many entertainers in this industry who live very wealthy lives and don't have to worry about, the paparazzi. It depends on where you live. It depends on what you're putting into the world. You married Kim Kardashian. You knew what Kim Kardashian was before you got yourself involved with Kim Kardashian.
She made herself because of the no right to privacy thing.
Right, right.
And
You're
you
right.
married it, but
Right.
you want to fight it. Like,
Right.
that makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But if you want to continue the conversation with us, tweet us. Go to blackhollywoodlive.com. We will love to hear what you have to say about this subject of Mr. Kanye West.
Awesome.
This is going to conclude our show today. I want to remind everyone to go vote for the Lauryn Hill question, which is, do you think Lauryn Hill was right to kick her audience member out? You saw the video here. We discussed it. We want to know what you guys think. And we'll read those results next week. Courtney, where can your fans find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stewart Starlet.
Jesse?
At DJ Jesse J.
And you can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you for tuning in to This Week, and we will see you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.